feel like no one talks about the Beast of Bladenboro, which is basically this creature that's responsible for a string of deaths in Bladenboro, North Carolina. Such a weird picture. At first, residents thought it was a wildcat because it was mainly preying on dogs, but then they reported it allegedly draining the blood of a fully grown horse. What do you guys think happened?
Thieves and bears, never shall we die. Yo ho, hoes together, hoist the colors high. Never shall we die. Yo.
In 1936, a military helicopter spotted something reptilian and unknown in the waters near the Chesapeake Bay. Further sightings from fishermen and locals down the coast of Virginia throughout the 20th century claim to have seen and even filmed this mystery sea serpent we've come to know as Chessie. Some sightings were identified as being manatees who traveled up from Florida, but perhaps there could be an unknown creature lurking in the waters off the coast of Virginia and Maryland. What do you think? Comment below.
Many have asked for details on my ancestors' interactions with mermaids, the sometimes beautiful, sometimes terrifying sea women of myth. The truth, apparently, is a mix. Beautiful but deadly sea maidens who may play or kill depending on mood. For those new to the channel, many generations of my forefathers battled supernatural entities both for the church and independently. I've been able to piece together their story based on several artifacts I discovered hidden under the family home, which have included, among many other things, detailed reports on interactions with these sea women. The earliest is from my great-great-great-grandfather, Harold Aldry, who claimed after exterminating a sea monster, he was saved from the ensuing flood by a trio of mermaids, who afterwards tried to engage in play. His refusal led to something of a grudge. Possibly related is the mysterious death of my great-uncle, in the Navy sometime in the 70s. I know that his father, my great-grandfather, was followed across the Atlantic when immigrating to the US, hearing their songs every night, and that he tracked suppressed reports of them in St. Augustine and surrounding areas for decades.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of the pheasant-back mushrooms out here. You can see, here's one, and then one over here. They look really nice. And then just looking around here in the distance, that tree has a bunch, and then this log over here has a bunch. Take a walk over there. These look pretty big. Yeah, this, look how big that one is down there. It's got to be about 12 inches across. And this one looks like it has a bite out of it. And this one. And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
It was believed that they disappeared more than 1.5 million years ago. But if the report is correct, then Megalodon did not depart this world after all, but found shelter in the depths of the Mariana Trench. This idea did not come out of nowhere. The scientists had discovered a giant tooth the size of a man's hand. A thorough study confirmed the tooth did indeed belong to the ancient creature Megalodon.
In 1987, a new bop of a song hit the airwaves, and it was about something rather unusual for pop music. Because it was about this guy. A special thanks to Patreon user Imaginary who requested this topic. Thanks, my guy. And that topic, of course, is the Michigan Dogman. Now, this Dogman has been in and around Michigan folklore for a long time, since 1887, when it was first supposedly sighted by 2 lumberjacks. But many of those reports didn't come to light until 1987, when a local Michigan radio station made a song called The Legend, which depicted and described the Michigan Dogman, and then at the end of the song had a bit of a call-out of, is the Dogman gone? Is his legend lost? Sort of inviting people to come forward with their own stories of the Dogman. Now, traditionally, it's said that the Dogman only emerges every 10 years when the year ends in 7, but one of the most famous sightings comes from 1961, so that part of the legend seems dubious. That sighting, of course, is this photograph. And here it is after I upped the brightness and the contrast so you can get a better idea of the figure here. Now, when this photograph was originally released, they actually handed over the original negative of the photo, because negatives are a lot more difficult to tamper with than the finished product. As the story goes, the witness was a night watchman on patrol, and he saw something rustling around in the brush. He saw it go under a streetlight, realized it certainly was not a human, and went to go grab his camera, and what he saw was what he described as a very large, broad-shouldered dog man. And it turns out every encounter with this thing going back to the original in 1887 does involve a large, broad-shouldered dog man who is always a dog man. It's not a werewolf. It doesn't transform. One of the other stories is from 1897. It involves a farmer who was found slumped over a log, dead of a heart attack, and there were wolf prints all over around him. In 1907, a widow, reported that there were dogs walking around on their hind legs, screaming like banshees around her house. In 1937, a boat captain reported that he and his crew saw a bunch of dogs walking on their hind legs around Bowers Harbor. But they're not isolated to Michigan. There's the Beast of Bray Road from Wisconsin, which is reported as being essentially the exact same thing. In Maine, there's the Beast of Turner, as well as the Palmyra Wolves incident. The Palmyra Wolves incident actually matches very closely with the 1907 Michigan one. And this even infiltrates into the missing 411 phenomenon. After Dennis Martin's disappearance in 1969, another family hiking nearby reported they saw what looked like a hairless bear carrying a child or at least something on its shoulder and running upright. At a distance, a dog head and a bear head can look pretty similar. And when it comes to evidence, we have plenty of photographs, but they all bear the same question. Is this guy right here a guy in a costume? Or is it some sort of mutant hybrid between a person and a dog?
Have you heard of the Beast of Bray Road? Basically, there's this road in Wisconsin where people report seeing overly large wolf-like creatures that they have strange encounters with. And what's crazy is most of the witnesses describe it as being a 6 to 7 foot tall wolf-like humanoid. Most encounters end with witnesses getting scratches down the side of their car. Here's an alleged picture of it. Some believe the sightings are just mass hysteria, but others believe it's actually a werewolf. What do you think?
What state would you like to hear next?
That one's actually kind of creepy.
It is called the Popobawa. The good news about this monster is that he likes you, but maybe a little bit too much. In Zanzibar, there is said to be a half-human, half-bat monster that goes through your windows to your bedroom while you're trying to sleep, and it will assault you. Unlike other monsters that wish to be unknown, this one tells you, you better tell everyone else what happened. If you don't, he will only come back tomorrow night. The creepy thing about this monster is that it wants to be known. So me telling you about him probably just put y'all in danger. My bad! Because the more people that know him, the more victims he can have. See, he can only assault you if you know about him. Origins of the Popobawa have been rooted in sleep paralysis and probably some schizophrenia. Either way, this dude's creepy. Oh yeah, did forget to mention that he has one eye.